from the mount, from Vesuvius.
It seems so, Uncle.
Master? Master, wake up.
Give me your hand.
We can't stay here. We have to go.
Everyone must move from here.
Stay or going. Both are equally dangerous.
We're going to die, Mother. Of course not. But we're trapped, aren't we?
2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire, the greatest empire the world has ever known, was shaken to its core by the worst natural disaster to strike the ancient world. In less than 24 hours, the city of Pompeii and at least 5,000 of its people were wiped from the face of the earth. Their killer was the volcano, Mount Vesuvius. But how it destroyed them, and why so many died, was for a long time a mystery. Today Pompeii lies in ruins. But amid the crumbling walls and faded paintings, tantalizing clues have been unearthed. Casts of victims buried in the ash preserve their dying moments. Precious objects tell intimate details of their lives. And the writings of a young man who watched it happen expose the full horror of what killed them. From this evidence, we can reconstruct the intertwining lives of some of the people of Pompeii and tell the chilling and startling story of their last ever day. Pompeii lies in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius. But this volcano has been quiet for over 1,500 years. The people don't even know it's a volcano. The 24th of August, AD 79, starts like any other day.
The temple will be restored.
Father, we didn't have a very good night last night. If I may, I wish to request...
Julius Polybius is one of Pompeii's wealthier residents.
Be careful with that. Cost me 500 denarii.
I'm so sorry I'm late, sir. My daughter's been sick with cramps and I want
Is she pregnant too?
She's 7, sir.
Sleep. Now, this is the room.
On that morning, he was preparing to redecorate his front room. Outside, a slogan on his wall tells us he had political ambitions.
I want it completely redone. You can manage that, I trust.
Before the election.
Oh, of course. I want to entertain my sponsors in here. How did that?
I only hope you can sleep with all this work going on.
Sleep will be no problem, Mother. It's staying awake.
Polybius's daughter Julia is 7 months pregnant. Her condition will determine the whole family's fate. Minor earth tremors plague the city. They're one of the signs that Vesuvius is stirring. But none of the 20,000 people who live here can read the signs. Gladiators are the sporting heroes of their time and free to roam the streets. Ardent fans scrawl love notes on city walls.
We're here. Keledos, the Trishon, is all the girls' heart throb.
Life will soon change forever. But for now, they concentrate on doing what they do best. Making money.
Come on! Hurry it up!
This business is run on human urine. It's so valuable that the Emperor has even put a tax on it. It's a fullery. Clothes are brought here to be cleaned. They use urine because the acid gets rid of grease stains. It's the slaves, of course, who do the dirty work. The remains of at least a dozen fulleries have been found in Pompeii. This one was owned by a man called Stephanus.
Don't let them take advantage. These bastards will try every trick in the book to avoid an honest day's work. They wouldn't have started on this lot if I hadn't seen it arrive.
When will you be back?
When I finish my business. Christ, you look so scared, Fortunata. You're the wife of Stephanus now. When you speak, they hear me.
Slaves do all the chores, even sleeping with their masters. The land around Pompeii is fertile, rich with minerals spewed out by the volcano thousands of years before. But the giver of life also brings death. Deep beneath the ground, through a weak spot in the Earth's crust, molten rock, or magma, has been leaking. A thick plug of rock in the neck of the volcano blocks its exit. As the underground pool of magma grows, so the explosive pressure mounts. The land swells, and earth tremors become more frequent. Trouble is brewing in paradise.
Don't fret, Sabinus. The first child is always the hardest on the mother, but Julia is young and healthy. You'll have many more, the gods willing.
Around 1 p.m. on the 24th of August, AD 79, Vesuvius roars back to life. Trapped in a superheated pressure cauldron for 1,500 years, the molten rock has turned not to lava, but to foam. Ejected at supersonic speed, it forms a churning column that rises into the sky. The people of Pompeii have never seen anything like this before. There is no word in Latin for volcano. Because they've no idea what's happening. Many who could flee, stay.
Perhaps we should go back to barracks. Or the temple.
Not before you buy me that drink. Look, it's just smoke.
Just minutes after the eruption, the column of superheated rock and gas has climbed 15 kilometers into the sky. It's easily visible across the bay in Misenum. home to one of the few people who might understand what's going on.
Please, Master.
Yes. I'm coming. Well then, what is it that's so important that I must be disturbed from my writing?
We thought you'd want to see this, brother.
Gaius Plinius Secundus, or Pliny the Elder, is commander of the Roman navy.
Is it coming from the mountain? From Vesuvius?
Seems so, Uncle.
But his real passion is studying nature.
Anicetus, order a boat ready.
But it's his nephew Gaius who will one day provide the vital clues to understanding the whole event.
Where are you going?
But I want to see it from the hilltop, and then more closely from the sea, for my book.
It's like an umbrella pine, isn't it?
Exactly.
The top of the column loses its upward thrust as it climbs, and then crawls across the sky. Normally there's an offshore wind which would force the column of ash out across the bay. But not today. Instead, the wind drives the cloud directly over Pompeii, stealing its daylight and plunging it into a living nightmare.
Father, I don't feel well.
Go back inside. All go back inside.
They do not know it, but the decisions they make now will ultimately seal their fate.
Master? Master, wake up!
What time is it? Why didn't you wake me?
It's day, but the sun has gone.
What is it, an eclipse?
That sound we heard. The thunder. Perhaps it's something to do with that.
I must get back.
Tell him he must come back at once.
But, mistress...
Go! Hurry! Don't stop!
Mistress, it's dark.
Then we'll light more lamps. Go on, Phoebe, light the lamps. And quickly!
As the cloud of ash obscures the sun, day turns to night. But there's worse to come. Propelled high into the atmosphere, the boiling rock mixes with air, cools, solidifies, and then begins to fall. About half an hour for the fallout to reach Pompeii. Cooled, but still full of air, the magma has formed pumice stones.
Pebbles.
It's light. It floats.
But mixed in with the pumice is something much more deadly.
Come on. You cannot be frightened of pebbles. We are gladiators.
Cold, dense rocks have been torn from the inside of the volcano.
Hey, you, give me a hand.
Falling at 200 kilometers per hour, they strike with deadly force. 1 hour after the eruption has begun, the crisis is deepening. Thousands take to the streets and flee. This is the time for decisive action. Slaves are expected to protect their masters' lives and property. But as fear and panic spread, slaves flee, knowing that if they're caught, they could be put to death.
Mistress! Mistress!
Did you find him?
I could not get out of the city, mistress. The sea gate is choked with people, animals, cars, all fleeing to the south. There are bodies in the streets.
Where are the others? Restitutus?
Mistress, the gods have decided to kill us all.
By mid-afternoon, Vesuvius has already thrown over 100 million tons of pumice and ash on Pompeii. As it collects, its threat grows.
My God, will be ruined!
We'll all be ruined unless it stops. And after all that money I've spent on the election. If only we'd rebuilt the temple sooner and not waited 17 years.
Julia!
She fell from the bed.
I'm all right, really.
What are we going to do?
The house is strong. The walls thick. We stay and pray.
News of the disaster is carried by messenger to Admiral Pliny.
Remarkable. I think it must be a fire mountain like Etna, or Mount Chimera in Physelis. In any event, I must get closer. Is the boat ready?
Yes, Master.
Gaius, do you want to come?
I'd rather finish the work you set me up.
You may never get another chance to see something like this close up. As you wish.
Master, a messenger! Mary Secundus, a letter from Rectina, wife of Tescus. She fears for her luster and her household. The earthquake.
Yes. I can read.
This letter is a desperate plea for help. A friend of Pliny's is stranded at the foot of Vesuvius. Her only hope of escape is by sea.
The whole coastline is thick with villas. It seems that the scholar must give way to the admiral and rescue. Anicatus, order the quadriremes to set sail, as many as can be manned, lightly ordered. Follow me to Pompeii.
Pumice continues to bombard the city.
Master,
What?
I'm frightened.
The weight of pumice on balconies and roofs creates a new danger. years before the slave's body and her bracelet are uncovered in the ruins of this cheap hotel. Every home in Pompeii faces the same threat. The roofs are built to withstand nothing heavier than rain. It's not a question of if they will collapse, but when.
O merciful God Jupiter, hear our prayer and accept our humble offering. Help us, great Jupiter. We understand and accept your anger. We beg you to protect and preserve us.
Master, the roof is thick with stones, groaning from the weight. Everyone must move from here.
We'll finish our affair, Felix. The beams are solid. Don't fuss. So where is their base? Safe.
From surviving records, we know that Admiral Pliny's rescue mission was underway around 5 p.m. He passed a town even closer to the danger than Pompeii, but kept clear of fallout by the wind. It's called Herculaneum. By late afternoon, most people had either fled the town or gathered on the beach, hoping for rescue. Amongst them, a young girl. We don't know her name, but from the wear patterns on her bones, we know she was a slave. But Pliny didn't stop. He took his ships towards Pompeii and into the darkness of the fallout zone.
Hold your course! Admiral! I cannot see! We will be wrecked!
Very well. We steer to the light then. To the light. We go to Pompeii!
With the wind behind him, Pliny can't turn back. Instead, he heads further along the coast to the small town of Pompeii. It's now Pliny's only chance of refuge. 7 hours into the eruption, Pompeii's streets are almost deserted. As the pumice continues to fall, it blocks doorways, trapping those sheltering inside.
Stoners are on his way! Help me here! Hey, mistress! John! Mistress, I have a family out by the gate.
So what of it?
I want to go to them, mistress.
No. Absolutely not. Your duty is here with me.
The deepening crisis forces everyone to re-evaluate their position.
Well, what do you say?
Staying or going, both are equally dangerous.
Which is why everyone must choose for himself.
I cannot go, Father.
Then nor can I.
course I will stay.
We will stay too, Master.
You need not sacrifice your family for us, Felix.
Your fate is our fate, Master.
No longer. You're all free. Freed men and women.
Thank you, Master. And freely we choose to stay. There's more myself.
The pumice and ash suck moisture from the air, parching the throat and mouth.
Arrows.
Who's with you?
Canatus and Thracian.
And you are?
Fortunato, wife of Stephanus the Fuller. I was trying to make my way to the Slavian gate.
And your husband?
Fortunata! Restitutus! Anybody!
Time and options are quickly running out, and not just in Pompeii. Pliny, trapped at Stabiae by an onshore wind, has found shelter with a friend, Pomponianus.
I am impressed that you can take it so calmly, Pliny. Until the wind shifts or drops, what can we do? Besides, when you've travelled as widely as I have, and studied wider still, you will understand that these phenomena are simply workings of nature, and not to be feared.
Well-read though he was, even Pliny couldn't grasp the scale of what was happening.
The mountain is spewing fire. The whole summit is alight. Courage, my dear friend. In the morning, when the wind permits, we will leave this place. Till then, stand firm.
But Pomponianus is right to be afraid.
Something is happening to the mountain. Something is happening to the mountain.
What happened was so bizarre that although Pliny's nephew Gaius later described it, no one believed him. Now heavier with denser rock, part of the column collapsed and cascaded down the mountain in a great wave. Superheated ash and molten rock churned down the volcano in a racing, burning avalanche. It's now known as a pyroclastic surge. This blistering wave headed straight towards Herculaneum and the people on the beach. Among them, the young slave 3-month-old baby in her care. Five times hotter than boiling water, this cloud of gas and ash incinerates everything and everyone in its path. The searing heat is so intense, death is instantaneous. The people on the beach do not just burn, they turn to charcoal. Inside the boathouses, death was different. People died from thermal shock. As the boiling surge cloud settled on their bodies, their soft tissues vaporized. Teeth and bones shattered, like fragile glass under boiling water. Their brains boiled, then exploded. The skeletons of 300 men, women and children have been found in the boathouses. When the eruption finally stopped, Herculaneum and its victims lay buried under 25 meters of volcanic debris. Pompeii faces a similar fate, but in the early hours of the morning, it's still the falling pumice that causes the most distress.
We could only find these masks for the wedding's block, the kitchen buried.
And they will have to do. But remember, Felix, master no longer. Let us close these doors while we still can. Close next door, too.
I hate being shut in.
It won't be forever.
The worst is yet to come. Every household around the Bay of Naples is now in danger.
Mother, we must leave. No. The house could fall at any moment.
No! Not until your uncle is safely back in port.
This massive earthquake signals another deadly change in the eruption. At the heart of the volcano, the magma chamber has collapsed. It triggers another pyroclastic surge. This time, it heads straight for Pompeii. Miraculously, the surge cloud runs out of energy just short of the northern wall. the city is spared. But a cloud of toxic gas carried by the surge quickly spreads through the streets and houses. Carbon dioxide, suffocating and deadly.
What in the name of the gods is happening?
Hydrogen chloride, an acid that burns the eyes and throat. They form a lethal cocktail.
Are we going to die, Mother? No, of course not. We'll think of something. Won't we? But we're trapped, aren't we?
At least the smell seems to be easing.
Perhaps we can remove them from the hinges.
How? With what? No water, no air, and now no light. No more of that, Sabinus. We must just pray for a solution.
Come. Save your strength. What is it?
Death.
Why? Where did you get it?
It doesn't matter now. All that matters is it's painless and quick.
In extremes, suicide was an acceptable form of death for the Romans.
Who's there? Help me.
Gold brought him back, but it will not save him. From the side of the column, a blistering wave of ash and rock explodes, scorching and smashing everything in its path. It hurtles downwards. Nothing else that comes from a volcano is so hot or moves with such devastating power. Traveling at more than 100 kilometers an hour, It will take just a few minutes for the pyroclastic surge to reach Pompeii.
Of course, if I'd been elected last time round, none of this would have happened.
Venus, goddess of love, help me now. You've brought me here. Show me a sign. My heart pounds, but I feel no fear.
Death for the people of Pompeii was not instantaneous. The first breath inhales hot gas and ash, causing the lungs to fill with fluid. It's like swallowing fire. The second breath mixes ash with the fluid, creating a wet cement in the lungs and windpipe. The third breath thickens the cement, causing the victims to gasp for breath, then suffocate. Would they have known they were dying? From their death throes, it seems almost certain. But Vesuvius has one final horror to unleash.
Fascinating. The mortar! Fascinating. Really?
After 18 hours of eruption, the bottom section of the column collapses spectacularly. Courageous, stubborn, or foolhardy, Pliny made no attempt to save his life. Those who survived reported that he fell where he stood, overwhelmed by gases carried by the cloud. The final and greatest surge travels right across the Bay of Naples in a black cloud of death.
Mother, we must leave! Now!
Does not believe in the gods. Cover your mouth.
The final surge kills thousands who have fled into the countryside. But not the man whose writings will prove critical to understanding what happened. Pliny the Younger. Pliny's description of the surge clouds that swept from Vesuvius was so bizarre it was not believed. Only in recent years has science vindicated him. We now know that these explosive volcanic events can happen just as he described. They're known as Plinian eruptions. In just 18 hours, Vesuvius spewed out more than 10 billion tons of pumice, rock, and ash. A rescue attempt was launched from Rome, but the devastation was simply too great. For more than 1,500 years, the city lay buried and forgotten. Then in 1594, it was rediscovered by chance when an aqueduct was being built. Excavations have now been going on for hundreds of years. What they uncovered has amazed the world. The ash had formed a seal around the city, like a time capsule, preserving temples, shops, streets, and houses. But most poignant of all are the casts. Victims whose bodies decayed, leaving only their shapes preserved in the ash that smothered them. Men, women, children. Even animals. Their final moments immortalized. Some victims even left clues to their identity.
Well, this is the room. I want it completely redone. Don't fret, Sir Linus. The first child is always the hardest on the mother, but you'll have many more. The gods willing, eh?
In the house of Polybius, the skeleton of a heavily pregnant woman was found, surrounded by her family.
Are we going to die, Mother? No, of course not. We'll think of something. But we're trapped, aren't we?
In the gladiators' barracks, the remains of a rich, bejeweled lady, alongside those of gladiators.
I think I should find myself here with gladiators.
Do you think that we should find ourselves here with the wife of a fuller?
In the ruins of a cheap hotel, a slave girl, still wearing her inscribed bracelet.
Your bracelet had a name. What does it say?
From the master to his slave girl.
Close to the foolery of Stephanus, a skeleton still clutching a bag of gold.
Fortunaza! Restitutus! Anybody!
Mount Vesuvius still dominates the Bay of Naples. Its fertile soils lure people to its slopes, just as they did 2,000 years ago. Only now, 3.5 million people live under its shadow. Vesuvius has never again erupted with the same apocalyptic force as on that hot summer's day in AD 79. According to the experts, Plinian eruptions of this scale only happen every 2,000 years. The next one is due.